I can mind my own business, and I hear from behind me, excuse me ma'am, excuse me ma'am. So I think maybe I dropped something, so I turn around to look, and this guy's right there, and he goes, damn, you thick as a brick. Like, that's why he said excuse me, because he wanted to tell me that. And I was like, all right. And I started walking really fast. He's like, what's your name, what's your name? Like, sir, did you think that this was going to be the start of a love story? Like, that was so uncomfortable. Why the fuck would you say that to me? And the only thing that made it better was that literally like 10 seconds later, a girl was like, you look so cute. And I was like, see, that was nice. What he said was so fucking creepy.
A few moments later.
Yes, I've never been asked for my number. I've never been catcalled. I've never been confessed to. What else? Pretty much anything that involves like male attention, I've never received. And this is actually a really interesting topic that me and my friends like to discuss quite a bit, because a lot of my friends are on the other side of the spectrum where they're consistently getting catcalled, they're being harassed, they're being confessed to left and right. And so for them, they find my life very fascinating and I find their life very fascinating. When people hear about my experiences or my lack of experiences, they're always like, oh, you don't want to experience that. Don't worry about it. Like, it's a blessing that you're not getting catcalled or that you're not having to deal with all of this drama that comes with receiving male affection. But what I think people fail to realize is that when you're on the other extreme of the spectrum, you start questioning your own value and your own worth, because you're like, why am I not getting any attention? Is it me? Like, am I just not attractive? Only recently that I started to accept myself for who I am, and also accept the idea that just because I'm not receiving such attention or affection doesn't take away from my own value, beauty, or worth. TLDR to your question is yes, it's possible. We exist and we're pretty much invisible to the world.
Woman in the comments said, I have to admit that I have hoped to have attention, even if it was negative. A woman in the comments said, girl, be so for real. Why should he wait for you? Another woman said, sometimes we need a reality check, and please don't make me defend a man. These were the top 2 comments.
If you're a man, I want you to stop scrolling because I have a question for you. And that is, what would it take for you to feel comfortable with having a stay-at-home wife? And no, I'm not talking about your income, because yeah, if you made so much money that your wife didn't have to work, that's different. I'm talking about if you make the income you make today, what would your wife need to do or have attributes, characteristics in order for you to feel comfortable with her being a stay-at-home wife, not a stay-at-home mom? I'm talking like pre-kids. For example, I am a stay-at-home wife. I am really good with money. I manage all the investments of the household. I handle all the spending as far as like reviewing it. And I do all the household stuff like cooking, cleaning, laundry, all that stuff. So my husband can work. He doesn't have to worry about anything. So I'm curious to hear from you guys, because obviously like trad wives are kind of coming back in style. It's really hard in this economy, but I want to know what would make it worth it for you to not have a dual income.
The overwhelming answer is, say it with me, class. Peace. Peace.
So I got to give points to the gentlemen. They've been saying for a while that 80% of women only date about 20% of men. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm looking at the percentage of single mothers versus the percentage of single fathers. And the data is not quite lining up. Then I started to think about the T app. And I said, wait a minute. If women are posting all the same guy on the T app, and they're all running over there and rating their experience with the same guy. Wait a minute. These women are all dating the same men. Because how would you explain that one guy has like 30 different women rating him poorly? 30 different women have dated this guy and they have a bad report on him. I think the guys were right about this one.
I'm on a bathroom break, but let me ask you a question. So at what point do we start blaming women? And I'm a woman, but I'm going to be transparent. When do we start blaming women? And you say blame women for what? Women are the problem. It's not the men, guys. The women are the ones that keep going back, laying down with a man who already doesn't take care of the kids he has with her. Women are doing that. That's not the man. The man is winning. He already doesn't take care of the kids he has. It's a win-win for him. Women, and then we get on this platform and we cry. Oh, men are so horrible. No, some of you females are horrible. You know that your baby daddy doesn't do something for your first child. Why did you have 2 more? You already know you're homeless and you can't keep a roof over your kid's head. Why are you having more? And then you're going to get on this app and you're going to cry about how you're struggling. No, you are struggling psychologically. You are. Some things are men's fault, but let's start taking accountability as women. Because women are to blame. To keep having babies with a man who already does nothing for you or already has you in a shitty situation is insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Oh, wait.
But you're saying, I'm a woman too, but you're a married woman. These modern women are irresponsible, and they don't want to sit up here and hear a married woman talking about responsibility and accountability.
I hope this is a safe space. But I was at work. Man comes in, attractive, nice voice. And I'm like, okay. I go over there. I ask if he's single. He says, yes, I'm single. I say, okay. And then walk away. I'm never getting out the hood! I'm never getting out the hood! I'm calm.
I know that a world full of women would be great because I'm in the TJ Maxx parking lot and some girl just hit my car. And I look over because I feel it. And she's like looking at me. She gets out. And I'm just like, you're good. You're a good girl. I go, it's a piece of shit. I'm not going to ruin your shopping spree over it. Like, I don't even think there's a dent. I didn't get out to look. I hope she finds a really good deal today.
Well, when y'all continue to crash into each other's cars and ruin each other's stuff, then that's when the cattiness is going to start coming out. And then that's when the mean girl starts coming out. And then there's no more safe world.
Maybe your standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages. In the last 6 months alone, I created 4 different applications and 2 different programs across the iOS platform. Not to mention, I started diversifying my financial portfolio at 23. You wear skinny jeans. We're not grading this on a curve.
Okay. She says she's not grading on a curve. Ooh, somebody's a little nasty. Does their personality seem approachable to you? I'm just asking, just a question. So you'll notice she's talking about how somebody probably told her standards are too high, right? Somebody probably said, listen, you're being too picky. Maybe she is. And then she goes and lists all of these things that she feels make her, I'm entitled to have high standards. I am the most desirable woman ever. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books. I speak 3 languages. I, solidified my financial portfolio. I created all these, I don't remember what she's talking about, apps or I don't know what she's talking about. So, guys listening at home, out of all these things, do you care about any of them? Do you care? I'm just asking. First of all, do you care if your woman can squat 250? My guess is no. My guess is that's not a priority. When you list the things that you want in a woman, do you have can squat 250 on there? I'm willing to go out on a limb here and say the answer is no. Do you care if she has her financial portfolio settled by the time she's, say, 28? Is that a priority for you? My guess is no. Do you care that she speaks 3 languages? Nice. Oh, how cool. Wow. That's, is that a priority for you? No, it's not. So this is a perfect example of women not understanding that what they like in themselves and what they value in themselves is not the same as what's going to attract a man, right? It's just not. They don't care about this stuff. They don't care about, and of course, there's going to be one guy out there that maybe he's a little bit different, but generally speaking, guys don't care about how much money you make, honey. They don't care because they're going to do that, right? They're already doing it as their job. They don't care about your salary. They don't. They don't care about how much you can squat in the gym. Do they care that you're fit and that you keep yourself in shape and that you look good and that you're attractive and that you're not, Yes, they do. But do they need you to squat 250 like that? No. They only need one man in the house, honey. Just saying. They don't care. Do they care that you built all these apps or whatever you did work-wise. Okay, let me just say it this way. Guys don't give a lick about your work life and how successful you've been at your work. Now, there's a woman out there that's saying, Jade, you're wrong. Because I asked my husband and he told me that he does care. Really? Did you ask him under duress, honey? Did you say, babe, you know, like how much I love my job? And I mean, do you care that I'm doing really well in my career? Is that important to you? And then did he be like, sure, honey, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of that stuff. Yeah, because you scared the hell out of him? Honey, be realistic. How did you ask? Did you put pressure on that situation? If he said he didn't care, did you have a tantrum and cry and go in the other room and be like, you don't value me as a woman? You don't value what I can bring to the table? You don't treat me like an equal? I'm just a what? Am I just a maid? Did you have a little fit, an emotional, I don't know, tirade? Guys don't care about your job. They don't. They don't care about your job. They don't care if you can squat like them. They don't care how many apps you built. They don't care about any of this stuff she's saying. So when she's out and she's dating and she's like, oh, look at my resume. Because I have all of these things, I'm entitled to be immensely picky. A guy's turning around and being like, are you nice to be around? Do you want to be a mom? How do you feel about making a house a home? Are you generally a pleasant person? Or are you super stressed out and feeling anxious with cortisol spikes all day long and coming home agitated because you squat 250 and because you went and created 3 apps and because you did all this stuff that the guy doesn't give a lick about? He'd rather have you not doing all that stuff and be pleasant and not stressful and be like, babe, you know what? Oh my God, I baked this sourdough and it's amazing. And he's like, oh man, coming home to a steak and a sourdough with some raw butter. You know, I'm being honest with you. Now I could sit here and lie and say all of these things. Now, do I as a woman think these things are cool? I do. I think it's awesome that she can squat 250. I can't. I think it's awesome that she speaks 3 languages and she did all this stuff. I'm a female looking at a female saying, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's cool. But I'm not going to date you, honey. And if you're looking to attract to men, you just created a long list of stuff that they don't care about. So now what I would ask her to do is, pretty girl, no question, disciplined. Okay, what do you bring to the table that guys actually do care about? What is that stuff? I'll wait. And then secondly, is there enough stuff there that would entitle you to keep your standards for him high, you know, when in reality, maybe all the stuff that he cares about, you're not doing and you don't care about, you don't want to do. That creates an imbalance. So then you've got all this stuff you're doing that you like, but he doesn't care about. You think that makes you, oh, I should be looking at 10s. But the 10s want the feminine stuff. And this stuff doesn't read so feminine. It just doesn't. She kind of sounds like it's a boss babe, but she sounds very masculine, right? I've owned my life, this, that, you're in skinny jeans, I'm not great, not a curve. I mean, she sounds like the teacher you walk into the class and you're like, dear God, why did I can I switch? Is there someone else that can teach this class? Is that you're borderline afraid of her? Her energy is so masculine and so like, I'm self-empowered, get out of my way, I did it all, I don't need you, I don't need a man, I can do everything that a man can do and more. Well, then you're not going to attract a man. He's going to look right by you and all of these so-called accomplishments that you value, but he doesn't really care about. And he's going to look to a woman who's just sitting around and happy and like, I do need a man. I want a man because I bring something to the table that he doesn't, and he brings something to the table that I don't. You're not competing with a man. Was this a video about you competing with a man or you trying to attract a man? I'm lost.
I mean, you're saying all of this like you're giving some sort of presentation, except that you're giving the presentation to the wrong people. You're giving the presentation to people like women who care about this stuff. Men don't.
I want to take a second to talk directly to the men who commented on my last video. The ones who said, this is how it works for us. We can't show our emotions. It'll be used against us. I hear you, and I read every word. And the truth is, I'm not here to debate your experience. I'm here to say, I believe you. You were taught to carry the weight, to be the provider, the protector, the rock. And we appreciate everything that you've done for us. But somewhere along the way, you were told that it meant you can't break. That if you fall apart, you'll lose respect or love or both. And maybe some of you did. Maybe you opened up and it was used against you. Maybe she walked away. Maybe people laughed. Maybe it made you feel smaller and weaker instead of lighter. I'm not here to tell you, just open up and hope everything goes well. What I'm saying is you shouldn't have to carry all of it alone in the first place. You're not broken for feeling, and you're not soft for needing. You're not less of a man because the weight got heavy. You've survived things that people will never understand. And I'm not asking you to be emotional for us women. I'm asking you to not go numb for you. You were never meant to do life alone. And maybe you won't believe that yet, But if no one's ever said that before, I'm saying it now. You matter too, and your feelings matter too.
Men in the comments are saying, we appreciate you saying this, but men still, unfortunately, cannot truly be open because modern women in general cannot handle it.
Okay, next question. You know those Facebook pages, like, are we dating the same guy? Why is it mostly black men all over that page?
What kind of question is this?
What's something that you think I don't give you enough credit for?
Oh, this is going to rile a lot of women up. It's going to rile a lot of women up. I think that women, you deservedly so, get a lot of credit, as you all should, for bearing the burden of carrying the children, and then birthing them, and then feed all the things that women do.
And everyone wonders why we get in fights.
But
Go
I
ahead.
do think that
Careful.
myself and other very active and dedicated fathers sometimes don't get the credit that they should. Meaning, when we get in a fight and you're saying you don't feel like you feel like, oh, well, I carried the kid. I'm like, well, I'm doing as much as I can to contribute, from the diapers to the pickups to the getting up to all the things I do. And I think sometimes active dads, listen, I'm not saying that women shouldn't get credit, but I'm saying sometimes men that are trying to show up and be great, strong fathers don't get as much credit as they could.
I will give you credit for being a good father.
Not that you don't give me credit for being a good father.
The game is just not even. When you birth
hold on.
baby out of your dick hole.
I get two women. I got two people in the room. I did not say it's even.
You have no idea. So like, I will give you credit for being
I'm not
a
saying
good
I
dad.
need equal credit.
But the equalness of it is so skewed. I would actually say that you do 60% and I do 40. Ooh,
good. Next
how about
question.
that?
We can just
How
move
about
on.
that?
We can just move on from here.
However, the pregnancy and the birth is going to drop you back down to about 20%. That's how gnarly that is.
Listen, there's good parents and bad parents, good moms, bad moms, good dads, bad dads. But I do think sometimes the great fathers that are showing up are not always as appreciated as they could be.
She's literally proving his point. Literally. Woman in the comments said, so which hospital is she in now?
Would I get paid more if I was a man?
Yeah, probably. Men are just stronger, faster, smarter, more intelligent. I said that twice, so I don't know what that says about me. They also take less sick days. They're more consistent over a period of a month. You're the fucking fourth highest paid person in the team, and you're less than half of the age of the highest people who are higher paid than you. Would I get fucking paid more if I was a man? The only other person who's he's worked longer than you, who is a man, is paid less than you. And he leads a team of 12 people or some shit. You don't have anyone you lead. You do fucking no leadership. You haven't even made a proper sale yet. This motherfucker don't get paid more. You already get paid too fucking much. Holy shit.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Well, that's harassment. Let's see what else. I mean, at the very least, you probably should be fired. Who does that? Who in the world does that?
Ladies, we are going through a good man epidemic right now, and we need to talk about it. And me, along with all my friends, are all single right now, and we have hobbies, okay? Like, we go out, we do our thing, we go to the gym, we go to social events, like anything that's going on in our area. So, like, we're out there, I promise, we are not hiding. But I swear, it's like every single time that I meet a man that has something interesting to say, tell me why they're always in a freaking relationship. So, like, really, where are all the men at? Like, the single ones, obviously. I can't find a single one that's worth my time right now, and I'm getting frustrated.
Do you ever think that we're in a trash woman epidemic? Do you ever think that might be the case?
I don't understand men. Why do we have to walk a mile into the store when there's a million parking spots way up here?
And yet again, women are holding her accountable. A dude says because you don't want to pay for a damaged car. Another woman says this is such a non-issue. Another woman says I'm siding with him. I would rather make the walk and park away from everyone.
This is the worst date in the history of dates. I matched with this guy on Hinge and we talked for about a week before he asked me out to dinner. I pull up to the dinner. He's late. 30 minutes late. I'm waiting at the dinner. The host is looking at me like I'm about to get ghosted. But he shows up, we have the dinner, it's great food. When I tell you this man did not ask me a single question about myself, like not one question. It was really bad, and honestly the whole time I just wanted to go home. So we wrap up the dinner and he offers to drop me off at home, which I'm not going to say no to a free ride home. And I kind of just expected him to order the car and, you know, let me get in it. Bye. Bro comes in the car with me and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just going to add a stop. No, he fully expects to come into my apartment. So I'm kind of putting two and two together. So I ask him, I'm like, you don't think you're coming in, do you? And he goes, no, like I am. I was like, baby, no, you're not. He got offended by that. So we stopped the ride and made me get out of the car. But yeah, don't just buy me dinner thinking that you're going to be able to come home with me after. What?
A dude in the comments said, I support your chosen camera angle.
I feel like there needs to be studies showing how a man taking the load off of a woman adds quality to his life and hers. You will live longer as a man if you are with a woman and you are taking the load off and the stress and certain burdens off that woman. If you do those things for a woman, I promise you that your quality of life as a man will be 10 times better. 10 times better. You wouldn't have to worry about shit. Same way that she don't have to worry about stuff, the things that you worry about, you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to worry about what you eat. You wouldn't have to worry about if your clothes clean. You wouldn't have to worry about little shit like that. If you do the little shit for her, I promise you, she will make your life so much easier. And she wouldn't be mad doing it. She would actually be happy to make your life easier. Because why? Her life is easier too.
So the caption down there is women contribute more than y'all think in relationships. Well, we don't really think they contribute anything. They're going to tell us what they contribute over and over again. And they're going to say they contribute more. It should really be reversed and say, this is what men contribute because y'all never seem to understand or accept that.
I was today years old when I found out that Instagram was a site.
But when I said it, y'all called me a madman and said I hated women. When I said it, I hated women, right? I remember I made a post saying that the most unattractive Instagram for a woman to have is an Instagram with a whole bunch of different city and country highlights where she's always at some fancy brunch or restaurant spot and she's always done up in every single post. That's all you ever see. Her on the beach in a bikini, like I said, in the restaurants, and all her highlights are different countries. You know why? Because she's an escort. That's why it's unattractive. But all the girls like, that's not, look, if you're not an escort and that's what your Instagram looks like, that's what you look like. You look like a hooker. I'm sorry to tell you, babe. I'm sorry. You look like a hooker. I'm sorry. Because all those Instagram baddies that you see, and that's what their highlights look like, and their whole thing is that they're an Instagram model, and then they got like email for inquiry. I can't speak inquiry. If that's what it says in her bio, she's a hooker. I'm sorry to tell you. You think she's 19 years old in Dubai on a yacht because how? She's 20 on a yacht in Spain How? What do you think she does to get money? She's college age or just graduated high school and she's in all these different countries? The only excuse is if her parents are rich. And how many people's parents can actually be rich? How many? So again, when I said that these girls' Instagrams and all they shows is highlights of them in different countries and restaurants and bars, brunch, and beach, and that's it, and that makes them unattractive, is because to me, when I see that, all I see is either a woman who's extremely boring or she's a hugger. I'm sorry.
When a man is handsome, educated, make good money, but still single, what could the problem be?
A lack of good women in the dating market.
Who is most domestically violent towards women?
Surprisingly, it's actually women.
It's not.
Yeah, no, actually, no. The highest domestic violence actually occurs a lot of the times between same-sex individuals who are women. They did a whole meta-analysis on this. What they found was when there's violence only going one way, where one partner is beating on the other, it's typically women to men. They're beating on the man. But the majority, obviously, are of like domestic violence is they beat on each other. It's really the women that tend to be more violent with that stuff because women don't have a proper concept of violence. When men deal with each other, there's already inherent respect to a degree because we understand that we're capable of each other, right? Because we have the physicality to do so. Women don't understand this that much for a multitude of different reasons because, you know, obviously we live in a civilized world. Men don't really attack women like that, which is good. Women, when they do fight with each other, they're weak, so who cares? They don't understand the consequences and ramifications of it.
But who commits more violent crimes?
Men do in general, for sure.
Yeah, and it's against women a lot of the time.
Well, it's actually mostly against us.
Oh, it is against other men
It's
because
against
men are
us.
like a majority.
Yeah.
It's men, yeah.
Yeah, but men also create the world that you live in. Like, there's going to be pluses and negatives.
I just think that's like kind of crazy to bring up during like domestic like awareness month and like silence awareness month.
The truth is the truth,
Okay.
regardless of the month.
I'm in the war on the side of the chop man epidemic girl. She's right. Right, y'all are ugly. You don't put effort into your appearances. You don't have hobbies, and you expect women to want you. And you're gonna screenshot pictures of me and her while she's talking in an effort to make her feel ugly, when in reality, you would cry of happiness if me or her or any of the women in her comments section touched you with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because you're a virgin. And let me make one thing clear. I'm not saying this applies to every single person who might disagree that there's a chop man epidemic. All I'm saying is, men didn't used to have to put that much effort into having an actual personality because they had a bank account. And until the 1980s, women couldn't own those. We couldn't even own our own businesses until the 90s.
And now we have to pay extra taxes to the government to subsidize your $120,000 a year project manager job where you send emails no one reads and start meetings that could have been emails nobody reads. Men made the world, and now we have to share it with you, even though we don't get anything for it. And this is what happens when you do that.
Going and calling every woman you see that you don't like ugly isn't doing your track record any favors.
Well, neither is anything else. You took away what you valued about men, so now you don't respect them. And I responded to that by getting in shape. This is me like 9 years ago. And that got me a bunch of short flings. That was back then. These are the times that life was good. And then COVID kind of ruined it all. And now I'm old and I can't make a relationship out of that anymore. And I don't want to make one out of money. So yeah, I don't think you really understand the war you're fighting. You're just bleeding men dry and then telling them to go die alone. And then you're calling them ugly even though, you know.
You get plastic surgery so your kids don't turn out ugly.
You got the IQ of a Q-tip. Getting plastic surgery so your kids don't come out ugly is like getting a heart transplant to make sure your kids don't come out stupid. They cooked.
When I want something, I get it. We used to live in upstate New York, and now we live in Tennessee, and I realized that I wanted something in New York, so I told my husband that he was going to drive me to New York. So it's currently almost 7 a.m. and I just woke up. I'm feeling pretty good. And he's been driving all through the night, so I didn't have to deal with that. And now we're almost to New York, so I can get what I need. And then tomorrow we'll head back to Tennessee. Isn't it the best?
who is most domestically violent towards women?
Surprisingly, it's actually women.
It's not.
Yeah, no, actually, no. The highest domestic violence actually occurs a lot of the times between same-sex individuals who are women. They did a whole meta-analysis on this. What they found was when there's violence only going one way, where one partner is beating on the other, it's typically women to men. They're beating on the man. But the majority, obviously, of like domestic violence is they beat on each other. It's really the women that tend to be more violent with that stuff because women don't have a proper concept of violence. When men deal with each other, there's already inherent respect to a degree because we understand that we're capable of killing each other, right? Because we have the physicality to do so. Women don't understand this that much for a multitude of different reasons because, you know, obviously we live in a civilized world. Men don't really attack women like that, which is good. Women, when they do fight with each other, they're weak, so who cares? They don't understand the consequences and ramifications of it.
But who commits more violent crimes?
Men do in general, for sure.
Yeah, and it's against women a lot of the time.
Well, it's actually mostly against us.
Oh, it is against other men
It's
because
against
men are
us.
like a majority.
Yeah.
It's men, yeah.
Yeah, but men also create the world that you live in. Like, there's going to be pluses and negatives.
I just think that's like kind of crazy to bring up during like domestic abuse like awareness month and like sexual violence awareness month.
The truth is the truth.
Okay.
Regardless of the month. I mean, if it was Black History Month, I'd make fun of black people too. I don't care.
Okay.
A lot of women really only just want to date men who have low vibration, who display these characteristics that won't require him to hold them accountable for their smart ass mouths and their ignorant ass behaviors. You don't have to grow into a woman. That way, you can blame him for everything. That's why so many women out here get the guys that ain't shit. Sorry. The scammers, the drug dealers. How can he hold you accountable for your behavior when he's out here breaking the law or doing things that are wrong? That's how deep the manipulation goes. And then for the guys who are out here making money outside of a job, you're paying for your girl to go to college. The second you get locked up, she's going to tell everybody that you ain't shit, and she built herself up on her own. I've seen it. That way, she can always play the victim. And when you speak against this, all these lies, she's going to tell everybody that you're just mad because she left you. But a man is going to have boundaries. You can't dress like a prostitute. You can't talk like an ignorant, uneducated ass woman. You can't behave like a stripper at your kid's birthday party. He's going to have his mouth open because you, if you're the mother of his kids, and you're at his kid's birthday party bent over on camera twerking with your ass cheeks hanging out of your little dress or your vagina print and your leggings showing for the whole world to see. That's why so many women are out here sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray and then complaining about it because they'll be right there with the damn camera recording it and posting it. You dress like a hoe to your kid's graduation, that's a no-go. So after the Pookie and Ray Ray manipulation techniques in their 20s, then they go for the men who'll be the stepdads in their 30s and 40s who they can control because the manipulation techniques have changed because they can bet that you, stepdad, are going to stay in your lane. Because women usually let the stepdad know, this is my child. Don't tell me how to discipline my child. And this is my house. I run this. Or if you tell her how her daughter should not be dressing, now she's going to call you weird. Like, why are you over here looking at my daughter's body? Worrying about how my daughter is dressing. You're weird. And if y'all hear you're weird like that, you need to run for the hills. If you hear it, it's time to pack your shit. Because weirdo equals pervert, for those of you who didn't know that. She's chastising you so you keep your mouth shut. Just give me your money, even though this isn't your kid, and shut up. And you're a weirdo because you're trying to set boundaries with her and your stepchild. It's all a technique. It is a practice. This is what women apply onto men all the time. And then you get hit with the same old buzzwords. You're controlling, manipulative, you're a narcissist, you're a lame, you're bossy, you're corny, you're lame, you're boring, whatever. All those things for the man who has standards. He's got boundaries. He has expectations. And a lot of times I see women who keep their kids away from their child's fathers. They keep their daughters away. And then when they finally get to be like teenagers and they consider allowing them to come around because they can't control them anymore, they talk about how weird it is because he's been gone for so long. So then she doesn't trust you around your daughter because you might be weird and looking at her funny because you haven't been around her. Like, what? It's all a fucking technique. Women watch and learn everything from other people, from other women, from just other people, and they copy the shit. This is exactly one of the reasons why mothers and fathers need to be in their kids' lives. If the mother's about to go overboard, the father can step in and check that energy. And if the father's about to go overboard in some way, Mama Bear should be right there to check the energy. And for all of y'all out there who grew up with a single mom, y'all can honestly say, I know this. There was 9 times out of 10 nobody around to check your mom's energy when she went overboard, especially your stepdad, because he was trained to stay in his lane. Kids need both parents.
Again with the inmate.
Hi, my name is Aisha Sanders. I am 35 years old. I am single. I have no
35.
children. I'm using this experience to welcome as many people into my life who want to get to know me and allow me to get to know them as well. I love positivity. I love enthusiasm, and I always want to do something that I've never done before. So if that's you, I hope that you will take the next step and make it a way to get in touch with me as soon as possible. Okay, bye.
Okay, see, that was pleasant. It wasn't super freaky like the other people we done came across. I wonder what she went to prison for. Okay, let me see here. Aisha Sanders. Where's she? In Ohio, right? Woman sentenced in grandmother's beating. What? 2 counts of aggravated robbery. 1 count of tampering with evidence. She beat her 86-year-old grandmother to death with a frying pan, sold her grandmother's television to use for money. She's a demon. She's a demon. And y'all talking about, oh, you can fix her. You see? That's how people get caught up, bruh. That's how people get caught up, bruh.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers.
Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
Why is it that we as black women feel comfortable checking black men, but the moment a black man checks us, we call it misogyny, control, or toxic? Don't scroll. Let's talk about it. Why does it seem like accountability only applies when we're the one giving it? We criticize black men, drag them online every day, talk about how they lead, talk about what they do, what they don't do. But the moment a black man says, sis, you out of line, or start calling you out on your bad attitude, all of a sudden he's bashing women. We can dish it, but we can't take it. Call a man weak for not being a leader, but then when he does lead, you say he's being controlling. Which one is it? If we want growth and healing from our men, we have to be able to look in the mirror and check ourselves first. Because checking somebody, that's not hate, that's love. And if we can't be corrected without getting offended, maybe the problem isn't the message. Maybe it's our pride.
If you are not willing to one day pay all the bills in your household 100%, then do not get a husband, okay? Because you never know what that man may go through, what may happen. He might lose his job, or he might just have an illness to where he cannot pay the bills. And y'all are just in it for the money. And I see it's not even about the person. And it's weird. And I get it. Y'all like, I'm not settling for no man that can't do nothing. Well, at first he was giving it all. And when he had a moment's elapse, you couldn't step in and say, hey, baby, I got it. Don't worry about it. That's weird to me, especially for someone you call your husband. Don't put that ring on your finger then.
Women do not care about black men, okay? Black women, unfortunately, sis, and I know y'all coming to beat me up, and I ain't talking about all us, but I'm talking about the majority. They don't even care about their children. They would rather abort their children than to give them life, okay? Black people, black men, right? You at some point, you're gonna have to pick a side, right? Black men have to come back into the forefront, and you all have to take a lead if you all want to save black life. Right? Because a black woman, she can go anywhere, right? To get what she feel like she needs, right? Who's going to be there for you? Who's going to save you? I hope y'all not waiting on us, because I sure can't do it by myself.
You, when you ran for Congress, the show host pauses and says, when you ran for Congress. Now, Angie King has a strong point here. But when Kevin Samuel said the same thing, he was crucified, tarred and feathered. At the end of the day, it's going to require and take black men doing their job and black women supporting them as they lead the family. Angie, you got it right.
And this is why a lot of men are walking away, because they know that women are acting crazy. They're acting silly. And these women, they don't know how to control their emotions, and they actually don't care to. They don't care about what a man wants, what he needs. And they're not going to pretend to care. They just leave him out there to suffer. And if he comes back, then that's great. But they're going to continue to treat the man like they want to treat him, any type of way. And that's that. There's a lot of men, not just black men, that have known that this is how women are acting.
So somebody said that providers are going to be more controlling. Yeah, probably goes with the territory for two reasons. One, a provider can probably get any woman he wants. So why would he want a typical woman that's for the streets? He's not going to go for that. He wants to upgrade, okay? A woman that like to be at home, okay? A mature, calm woman that ain't into running the streets no more, if she ever was. Second of all, if you're making that kind of investment in a person, you like to protect your investment. You can't protect your investment with some wild woman out in the streets, want to go on girls' trips and put all her business on live and on the gram. You cannot. That's your investment, walking around doing some wild shit. You can't put up with that. So you women who want a provider, y'all ain't ready. Y'all are not ready because you want to be out in the streets. So just be out in the streets. Don't worry about it. Save all the providers for me, okay? Because all I want is to be at home with a glass of champagne in my hand, you know, cooking my family some lobster tails and some filet mignon and an apron and nothing else. Okay, you can't cook naked. Okay, an apron and some heels. Okay, so y'all already know how I feel about girls' trips. That ain't happening. I don't want brunches. I don't want nights out. I don't want to bar hop with my girls. I don't have no girls. I don't even have any daughters. That's how much I don't like hanging out with girls. Give me a provider any day. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Did you say that my daughter is rude?
Yeah, I did. She gave me the finger.
Well, I wouldn't have done that if he wasn't being a slow ass.
Are you serious, Amelia? Well, listen. Whether she gave you the finger or not, then maybe you should have gotten out of her way.
Yeah, I know. I'm old and I'm kind of slow.
So that means that you get to tell her she's rude?
Well, she's rude. She's rude.
But she's not rude. She's only 7.
Well, I thought she was being rude.
First of all, that poor man deserves better. He deserves respect. And second of all, you wonder why girls grow up to be women that cannot take accountability? This is why. It's because mom is standing there taking away any ability to learn accountability. The mom is also probably why there's no dad standing there straightening out his daughter.
I low-key understand when get their money together and just start chasing hoes. Because having a girlfriend, shit in this day and era. It's especially hard for a dude working in a fucking 9 to 5, because if you ain't selling drugs or doing no scamming or got no illegal way to be making thousands of dollars a day, this is gonna treat you like peons. Even the women that actually manage to get a dude that go to work and bring his home, even they ain't satisfied. Like, come on now. I'm looking up complaining about they playing a game. You mad about this playing a game? In a world don't never want to be at home. You got a who is in the house. You know where he at. And you mad because he's on the fucking game. Your life that boring? You don't got no hobbies, nothing you could do to occupy your time for a little while that nigga on the goddamn game. So you gonna make him feel bad about being on the game because you don't have else to do. You know what you could do instead of making that miserable and making him not want to be in the house with you? Take some interest in what he doing. Why don't you try to play the game with him if you feel that type of way about that being on the game? Because you know what that nerd ass nigga could be doing instead of sitting in the house on that game at home with you? Nigga could be at Comic-Con. Nigga could be at a bar. Nigga could be somewhere or who like the shit that he like, having conversations with like-minded. Yet he's sitting in the house letting you make him fucking miserable and feel bad about being on the game. It's just crazy to me. Because basically y'all saying y'all want a nigga to take y'all out on trips, pay all the bills while you don't gotta goddamn work. Also not play the game and sit up and look at your boring ass all day. Like, what the fuck else y'all want from the nigga?
What you want, man?
Why the fuck did you go down there to the Section 8 place and tell them people that you live with me and you showed them the mail and you know you got me and my fucking kids kicked out? They came.
I sure did. I sure did. You didn't want me to stay over there, and you took my motherfucking bump off my motherfucking car. You took my motherfucking clothes, put Clorox on my shit. I sure did. Not only that, I done told social service how you be leaving the house for 2 or 3 days, not feeding them goddamn kids, and you sitting around here running around up and down the street in the club. I sure did. Your ass going to jail. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ain't no remorse in it. I don't give a damn what you say, and I don't give a damn what you do. In any other house you get, I'm gonna get you put out again. I don't give a damn. You talking about a house and the kids and all this. What you talking about?
So what about my fucking kids? You not gonna take care of them?
You always talking about what about your kids? Your kids be there 2 or 3 days, don't even eat. You be gone, the house all dirty, roaches running around. They running around, pampers singing, hanging and shit. You got plates of food and shit laying all over the house. You ain't talking about shit. Hell yeah, I sure did. You need to call the orca man over there, your dirty ass. I should never fuck with you anyway. And when every time you run into a house, I don't give a damn where you move at, I'm gonna get your ass put out. Hell, you talking about? I'm gonna call social service. I'm gonna call everybody that I know.
So you gonna get your kids taken away?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. Hell yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I went out there and showed them the mail while I've been staying at your house, because when I left prison, I probably write you from prison. So that's what I went out there. I went out there and showed them all the jail mail we had. I told them I was gonna come home there. You was supposed to be taking care of me, making sure everything was straight. I came home to you with them badass, nasty ass kids, and me and you this shit ain't just gonna work out. And then you taking my bumpers and shit, I'm running around here with no bumper, embarrassing and shit. You got me running around here knocking on your door and shit, trying to play victim. Hey man, I ain't trying to talk.
So where the fuck are me and the kids going to stay?
You and them kids.
You're selfish. You gonna get yours. You gonna fucking get yours. You gonna get yours, and that's you gonna get yours, and that's not a threat. That's a promise. You gonna get yours, nigga. You gonna get yours.
You and them kids better get in that ragged ass car, and y'all better go. And they be eating snacks any goddamn way, because you been leaving 2 or 3 days, ain't feeding them. So you better go to Dollar General, you better get you some cover, and you better make sure you get you a gas card so you can have plenty of gas in there, because it's going to be hot in there if ain't got no AC. And y'all ass better learn how to leave me alone, because every time you fuck with a nigga like me, I'm going to take your ass down.
You gonna get yours. You gonna get yours.
I'm going to get mine, and you going to get yours too. And
You
every
gonna
time
get yours.